Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Hello everyone and welcome to the AOR Hype Energy Classic Christmas Cup. This is Tier 1 on the PC, round number 1, the Japanese Grand Prix. My name is Thompson and joining me in the commentary box for tonight's race is Amkasa. Good evening!
How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Are you as excited for the race as I am?
Absolutely, I do love the Classic Cup. The Classic Cars are just wonderful to watch, wonderful to hear. And hopefully wonderful to spectate this wonderful race, hopefully.
Yeah, we've just started qualifying. It's 40 minutes still to go. No one has set a lap yet. Did you maybe have an eye out who should be one of the first guys to set a lap, perhaps?
It's Flash, actually. He's just about to come across the line. And he's going to set the first time. Won't be the fastest. Well, it will be the fastest for now, but it'll be quickly beaten, I suspect, by Hypers, who's coming around one of the last corners right now. And here we go. There you go. 39.3. So comfortably sitting at the top ahead of Yano, and it's me.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we have a bit of a famous face racing tonight. It's Tiamat Marduk. I think most of you guys should know that name from the F1 YouTube community, and it's going to be interesting to see how how he fares against some of the best AOR and esports racers here.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got some proper F1 drivers. Well, not proper F1, but proper Tier 1 drivers here today. We've got Hypers, Yano, Mr. Anker for Bristol Denosa, and Lemon is here as well. So some great drivers to watch here today, and hopefully some great racing. Tim Marduk is actually on his way towards the end of Sector 2, so keep an eye on him.
Yeah,
he's coming out to the line. He's the next one there.
He had a bit of a wobble coming out of Spoon there on his what is effectively a banker lap at the moment, so we'll have to see how good his lap is going to be.
Yeah, he's a little off the pace in the first sector. He did a 38.7 instead of a 36.9, so it's not going to be the fastest time. In fact, he's already at 42 seconds. So
oh wow,
it's the time on the board. That's what matters at this stage.
Yeah, that's what not crash there. It's easy to do in these cars. They're quite a handful to drive. Perhaps. Have you driven a lot of in the MP44?
I don't tend to drive a lot. I do a lot of the commentators instead of driving, as Lemon is doing a lot of the crashing into his countryman Hypers, and that's made a bit of a mess there.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's survived any damage, but
yeah, that's
gonna back end.
That's going to be an interesting conversation after the race, as Lemon's backing up weirdly, because as far as I know, I think those two are usually friends, but I'm going to guess that was not a planned meetup of the two.
I think it was a planned tow up the straight. Unfortunately, the Dirtier got the best of Lemon going through the 130R. He just lost the back end, and as a result, collected his countryman and definitely one of his mates, that's for sure. I think they're quite good friends, but yeah, it's not the way you want to start qualifying, is it?
Definitely not.
Right.
I'm just actually gonna have the chat on the other side, so excuse that menu window you have at the moment, but that means I can see what you guys are actually saying, and maybe give you a few replies. Lost one. Oh, that's Ben. Did you?
Yeah, Ben's lost it on the exit spoon going up the hill.
Ah,
Big
dear.
crash in the wall.
Well, Ben has bottled it again, I guess.
Yeah, lost the back end by the looks of things and just flung it into the wall on the left hand side.
Yeah, very unfortunate. At least he won't have to qualify anymore.
But
In the further races, obviously I don't know how much time he has on his hands, because this is just a fun cup. Not all of the drivers are going to drive every race. As you can see tonight, we have 16 drivers available, because there's no real pressure to attend all the races. Yeah, but maybe we'll see him in another race or two. But at the moment, he's not going to start any higher than P10. That is for sure. Yeah, so we've got the first qualifying casualty, and as I said, I did see that first twitch on his first lap out of Spoon, yeah, when these cars get loose, you're in big trouble, basically. So you really have to keep the car under you and try to keep it on the track. Otherwise, you're gonna just fly off. And here at Suzuka, there's not much space to recover. There's grass left and right of the track. So when you go off, you really go off.
Yeah, I mean, the guys here are using preset setups as well, so they've not been able to tweak anything to their liking. They're not. So I might need a bit more rear wing going around these corners with this car. They can't. So it gives a level playing field, which is great to see, but it works better for others than it does for some, and it's working well for Hypers and not so well for the likes of Ulyss and Beaker, who are currently down there in 12th and 13th.
Alright, lots of people on the outlaps now for their second run. I'm just going to guess that most people are going to do 3 runs. Given the time that's available, I mean, still 9 minutes to go, so you could do a fast lap now, come back into the pits, and then prepare for a final run at the end of the session.
Yeah, Muller's just put in time, put it up to P5, so a good lap from him, 39.9 on the board. And yeah, so good first lap from him. So Hypers and It's a Me are on the way around. Or was It's a Me Crow, which unfortunately was cut out actually. Look on the left hand side, it just says It's a Me C.
Yeah, that's actually a bit unfortunate.
It's the Red Bull driver himself. Well, we're assuming it is the Red Bull driver himself. I mean, I could check, but I don't have a keyboard at the moment, so it's a bit harder to check my friends list when you don't have a keyboard.
And I can't check your friends list from here, so we'll just leave it at that at the moment. Mr. Anchor, a bit of a wiggle there, going through the S's. I think he should be on a fast lap at the moment. Currently he's sitting comfortably in P4, not quite yet broken into the 39s, so if he improves by another 0.2, that should him also be into the 39s. Hyper's actually quite a bit ahead of the guys behind him, so that's a very impressive time there. I believe he would be fast enough for esports, considering if you look at Denoso is in second at the moment. But as far as I know, he's just too young. That's literally the only restriction why he's not in esports yet. So I don't know how long he has to wait, but maybe next year or the year after. Ooh, who's that?
A bit longer if he keeps doing that.
Oh, has he spun though? He's
14,
14, yeah, so I think you have to be 16, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so another 2 years for him, and, well, he already has this pace. Imagine him getting another 2 years of practice.
Yeah, he's going to be quite unstoppable. I've seen him in numerous other leagues, and he does have some absolute raw pace, similar to levels that the other Tier 1 drivers are driving at. As you can see, he's backed out of that lap, but Nicholas Longue...
Oh, it's me, Crow, with the new fastest lap.
Yep, that is definitely Crow. That is the Red Bull driver himself, sticking it at the front in a McLaren.
Yeah, Lemon now coming through the last corner to set his first time lap, I think that should be, after having a bit of a get-together with Hypers. And that's provisional P7, just behind Mr. Anker, who we have spoken about previously.
Yeah, well, Elshman's on his way around. He's going to set a time in a moment. Let's see. It's not going to be an improvement. He's down by 2.5 seconds. I think this track is so... It's not tricky, but the cars themselves are quite back-end happy. And one small mistake, as we've seen, just little wobbles. Do that in a normal car, they'll correct themselves quite easily. Do it in this. You're going towards the barrier, you're hoping for an easy impact.
Yeah, these cars move around a lot. especially a lot more than the modern F1 cars we have at the moment. So it's difficult to keep them under you. And oh, that's a spin of Iceman into the wall there. As I was just about to say, it's difficult to keep them under you and position them on the track exactly where you want them to. And considering Suzuka is a track where basically every corner flows into the next, it's even more difficult to get a good run in, just due to this track combination. But that's one of the reasons why we've chosen it, obviously.
It's a very bumpy track as well, don't forget. And you can see him, particularly coming off the final corner onto the home straight. Those bumps are lethal. They're pretty lethal in the actual F1 cars. You chuck them into these cars and they're holding on for dear life as they go over the bumps. There's another yellow flag there is Hooper. He's had an off in the S's. So he will be... Well, fortunately it's an in-lap, so he does have some front wing damage though. And he's going to need to get back and sort that out pretty sharpish.
Well, that was again some good connection there. I liked how you were talking about the bumps on the fast corner. Literally, when I switched to Fabrizio going over the bump in the last corner and getting sideways. So good timing there.
It's almost like I have a track map up on my other screen and I can see it.
Oh, a track map would be helpful here. To be fair, that's one of the things I miss a bit when commentating.
It is. You can get third-party telemetry data that gives you said track map. That is what I use. It's very, very useful when commentating to be able to see. Well, not always, but it's very useful in qualifying to see. Oh, there's a yellow flag. Oh, it's that guy there who's in the gravel. You don't need to search through all the drivers to find them. You can just look at your screen and see he's there. Yeah, we've got 4 minutes left, and starting to look quite interesting.
Yeah, Crow again going on an outlap, so he's going to start his final run. Is that Jarno finishing or starting a lap? We'll have a look. Oh no, he's actually coming into the pits. So he's P4 at the moment. Yeah. I think most of the people will probably come in now, put in a fresh set of tyres. We have Iron Wave and Flash going out, so they're doing a bit of swimming against the trend, basically. And just trying to use free track time to get a good lap. That could help as well. So we'll see where they end up. Currently at the bottom of the top 10. Decent starting position for the race. But obviously, if you can get higher up, you obviously want to do that.
Yeah, I'm just keeping my eyes on Muller at the moment. He's in 6th place. He is on a flying lap, and he's coming through Spoon. A little bit off pace on his first lap compared to his previous best. Down by about a 10.5, so we'll keep an eye on that and see if he can reel that one back in over this remaining part. I expect to sex around a little bit, and we'll get a split coming up now, so he's up by 10th, which could be good. If he can get another bit up, then he could gain a couple of places.
Yeah, every 10th is another place forward for Muller at the moment, so that looked like a clean chicane. There's that bump again where he gets a bit sideways there, coming towards the line, and that is a 10th improvement. Beats Mr. Anchor for P5 there. Is he going to get another lap in though? He might have to go for another flying lap, because time is running out. We've got 2.5 minutes left in the session now, as there's another wiggle there. Let's have a look at.
There's a lot of wiggles.
Let's have a look at It's a Me. He just started a flying lap there, so let's just go on board with him here as we go through the Fast S section. A lot of fun in basically any car that has a bit of downforce. These included, even though they have a lot less than modern F1 cars. It's still a lot of fun, especially since the MP44 moves around a lot, as you can see here. Beautiful car, really. I got to see it last week, so was very happy about that. Actually got to see quite a few of F1 cars. Oh, who's that? That is Muller, who's crashed out. Yeah. It's a Me just went past there. Was it It's a Me Crow? Is it CRO?
Yeah, Crow's not going for it, by the way. He's backed off.
Ah, right. Yeah, Muller has unfortunately bottled it. That was what I was talking about there. He has to do another fast lap.
And, well, let's see who's on a fast lap. Flash is about to start another flying lap.
Yeah. When you commentate the modded cars, it's always a big help that you can see in what ERS mode they're in, but you can't see that with those cars, obviously. So you just have to guess whether they're flooring it or not.
Well, we do have the little image on the right-hand side of the rev limiter that shows the throttle application, but that is about it. But if they're on an in lap or an out lap, they're still going to be doing full throttle.
Yeah.
It's just the shifting might be slightly different. Ironwave doesn't even want to put full throttle coming off the corner over those bumps.
Yeah,
and
might end up deadly, to be fair.
Be fun to watch though.
It definitely is.
Lemon's going. Oh no, Wall's going fast. He's backed off though. Don't know if he's picked up any damage.
Hyper's just started a new lap. Crow is already on the next lap.
Lemon's done. He's in the grass. So he will not be improving. Lemon's best at P7. I think it's going to be a shootout for the front two. Who's going to get it?
Just having a look where Crow and Hypers are. Crow is in front, so he'll set the time to beat. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. I don't know why at the moment.
B11 having more issues.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Hyper's definitely causing that yellow flag. He is off the track and in the wall.
Well, that's him out of contention. Fabrizio is one of the last to cross the line to start his final lap. So I wouldn't write him off yet. He's a very quick driver. Mr. Anker now retiring from the session, so he won't improve. Iceman already across the line. And that looks...
just had a little trip in the grass.
Ooh, that's Crow a bit far out on the curb there. And Spoon, we're going to see the sector split. What it's going to be. He's down slightly on his current fastest time. Hyper's not going to challenge him, and Denosa's already half a second off. So he is going to need a big improvement if he wants to beat Crow to pole position. As Crow now coming across the line, he's going to improve. Nope. Crow actually spinning across the line and losing a wheel there. Yeah, just having a look at Denosa. I think Denosa, he might be...
Denosa's done.
Yeah, he's quite a bit off.
The only challenge, I'd say now.
Yeah.
Lemon's done. The other two are done above Yano.
Yeah.
We'll see if he needs a big improvement here.
Yeah, he's 2.5 tenths up. That's not enough. He needs 8. And the final sector's like 19 seconds, so that would be a lot of time to be gained there. So gets over the bumps nicely. Might catch P3. There he is.
P3.
Yeah, that is Yano in P3. Pushes Fabrizio Donoso down to P4. So we have Crow, Hypers, Yano, Fabrizio, Muller, Mr. Anker, Imewave, Lemon, Richie B, and Flash in the top 10.
Yep, and just now waiting for Lemon to crash out as he's trying to do so well. Has he done it? No, he survived. Gotta watch something, and it is Lemon not sure how to drive a car, by the looks of things. He's been off a couple of times today, and he's just making sure he stays off, I think. He's had a few spins, to say the least. Not sure where he's going now. He's just going to cross the line, hopefully.
Yeah. But not before spinning again. I think someone's loving his screen time right there. Come on, you can do it. Right, so yeah, Ben starting from P15.
Well,
after crashing up.
Got a lot to do then, isn't he?
Early. Yeah, he's gonna do last to first challenge.
Well, that'll be a mighty drive if you can manage that, considering the competition we've got out there today. But there you go, those are the final standings for you.
Yeah, pretty close between Crow and Hypers, and then somewhat to a gap to Yano and Fabrizio, who are both been in are or have been in esports. So those are not slow guys. So yeah, good result there from Crow and Hypers. That's for sure. And yeah, Ulas is 4 seconds off. So did he even get a proper lap time in? I think he crashed out as well, didn't he?
No, I think he might have just had a few issues on his lap. He didn't crash out, but we'll see. It's all about the race at the end of the day. As we've seen from the qualifying, people really struggle to control the car, and I think it's going to come down to the case of can you...
Oh no. I like how we have the same reaction.
Oh
It's like we both saw the rain. Like this is gonna be a problem.
So it comes down to how well you control the car in the dry. It is now wet. It comes down to can you face the right direction for longer?
Yeah. Who can face the right direction for what is it? 12 laps, 14 laps?
Yeah, I was going to say around that point. I was going to say 13 to be honest, but it's a 25% race, so
The bad thing is I have already commented a classic McLaren at this track in a classic Christmas Cup before, but I can't. And it was a banger of a race, but I can't remember the lap count. So,
we'll find out in a moment.
we'll find out. I'm also going to find out whether we're going to have a formation lap. Looks like kit. Yeah, 13. There we go. Good guess.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Almost like I know what I'm doing sometimes.
Yeah, I went one high and one low. On average, I hit twice. So.
Yeah, I'll give you that. We both can claim that one.
Yeah.
So,
Bad shooting rule.
for us.
Miss left, miss right, hit 2 times on average.
Who do you reckon's going to be the top 3 today then?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be Crone Hypers fighting out for the lead, unless someone has issues. And then I think it's gonna be a close, maybe 5-way fight for the 3rd step of the podium. At least that's what it looks like on paper, or according to what pace they had. Obviously, now that it's raining, I'm thinking maybe some of them might have a wet setup on. So
Could have done, yeah. Well, there's no setup they can do. It's the presets. So there's
yeah, you can put more
setups.
downforce on, as you would.
Can you?
Yeah, you can. The presets
Okay.
are, I think, maximum downforce, more downforce, standard,
Yeah,
higher speed, and maximum speed, or something like that.
I believe Park Firm is on, so...
Yeah, so they would have qualified on their race setup.
Well, we're going to see how it's going to work out for them. It's not going to be an easy race, that is for sure. I think you are right. It's going to be Crow and Hypers are going to be the battling out for the lead. 3rd place, though, I can only look towards the 2, 3rd and 4th, so I'm going to go for Britza to grab 3rd place. I think Lemon's going to have an awful time. He had an awful qualifying. I think he's going to have a lot of incidents here today, especially with the wet weather.
Yeah, Lemon was one of those guys, from my previous experience commentating on him. He has a good natural pace, but he has sometimes trouble doing something with it.
Turning.
Yeah, not crashing, not getting into incidents, picking his fights well. He's still pretty young, so that will come with experience. But yeah, getting rid of errors is easier than attaining more natural speed, I think.
Yeah, sometimes you need to eliminate the mistakes that you make and you'll naturally go faster. And, well, we can see how it's going to work out as we are taking up positions on the grid.
Yep.
Euless at the back.
Everybody lining up. I hope I get a good camera angle here.
It will update normally.
Yeah, usually it will. Because at the moment I've got a few. Let's see. All right, there we go. We have the lights that are coming on. 5 red lights. They're out, and the race is go. Looks like everybody's scrambling for traction there. That was someone sliding backwards there. I think that was Hooper, who didn't get the traction down whatsoever. Crow ahead. Jarno second. Was that Hypers going a bit wider? 3 wide coming into turn 2. That might be difficult as they slot back in. Jarno actually moved up into P1. Crow now back down into P2. Hypers behind him. Fabrizio stayed in 4th. Hooper not having good time, already lost 3 positions. That's Richie B past Flash there for P9, that is. And it looks like now slowly everybody's slotting into single file and trying to get into the rhythm here early in the race.
Yeah, it looked like Hooper just forgot to put the power down actually on the line and actually got collected by someone who thought he was going to ghost and didn't ghost. But getting a good start has been Ben. He's up 3 places so far and he's getting himself towards that top 10. I believe everyone gets points though, so that is good to see. And it's not just the top 10, so he can keep up a chance for a title as Julian lights up his rears and says hello to them all.
That's not optimal, definitely. Yeah, Hyper's being a bit tentative into the hairpin and having Fabrizio all over him now, having a bit of a oversteer coming out of the hairpin as well. Ooh, that's Fabrizio actually clipped the grass there on the outside of that, what is essentially a flat-out right-hander, although in these cars, in the wet, I'm not quite sure if it is.
Oh, Muller's run wide. Muller's run wide there in the middle of the spoon. It doesn't really matter, they're going that slow. He's able to just slot himself back into P5 and continue on his way as they go up the hill towards 130. Oh, this is the tricky corner, really. How much pace do they dare take through it? Jarno's taken a little too much and got a little bit sideways, but
yeah, Muller had a full lift. Not a slight or anything. He was full off the throttle. So and he just kept it on track. So it seems as if it's very slippery out there at the moment. Oh, there's a few sideways. Oh, that was Muller nearly losing it across the line.
Oh, Anker's lost it though. Mr. Anker's lost it going across, and there's definitely someone spun at the back. Richie B, he's in the wall, and he's just being punted.
Yeah, that was
Big time.
Yeah, that was Mr. Anker there back in the wall. I thought Richie B, and we have a safety car. Interesting.
Yeah, Julian's just punted Richie B, taking some severe front left damage as a result.
Yeah.
And 5 second penalty to go with it.
Yep, that's gonna bunch up the field again. Yeah, I thought, as you said, Mr. Anker, that was actually him in the wall, but yeah, it was Richie B who got all sideways, then went into the wall, and I think then he got collected afterwards. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think Julian tried to go down the inside, hoping he's going to ghost, and didn't, and completely annihilated him. Up until that point, Richie B was still going. He was still in the race. Julian made sure that he wasn't.
Yeah. So, after this eventful first lap, we've had a few people moving up. We had a few people who have lost a spot, but actually, winner of that start is Tiamat Marduk, sitting in P10 at the moment.
Yeah, 5 places, but got to keep your eyes on Jarno. Was not expecting him to be that high up. He didn't have the great qualifying. Led you to believe that he wasn't going to be, well, in this position, but he's managed to get there. He had a blistering start. Sits at the front ahead of Crow and Hypers for Bristol. Not as high as I was expecting, but he's still, well, everyone's now in the mix, aren't they, with the safety car coming out.
Yeah, and especially at the front, everything mixed up a bit. So we have to wait and see if Jarno can break away. Obviously, he might have put on more downforce for the occasion. There may be a few others. So obviously, there's always a compromise between a dry qualifying and a wet race. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting battle here at the front. And I'm going to say right now, as it seems, we're probably at least going to have a 4 or 5-way battle for that victory today. And we've got people at the back trying to push ahead. So Lemon will try to move forward. Tiamat Marduk will try and move forward as well. Yeah, and Julian has not had the best of qualifying and race starts, but usually he's not necessarily slow either. And we've got actually a few people in the pits. That's Jarno in the pits and Lemon as well. So what are they doing? Are they going on to dries? It seems a bit wet. I don't think they have inters available on these cars.
No, there's 2 types. There's dry and wet.
So yeah, they are actually putting on dries. So yeah, let's show that. Yeah, we've got people going onto the dries now. It looks way too wet for dry tyres, to be fair. But on the other hand, I have had a league race here where it took 20 laps to go from dry to wet, even though it was raining. So conditions can be weird here at Suzuka. So Tiamat Marduk, Lemon, and Jarno now all on dry tyres. And the rain is easing off, so maybe a gamble that could work depending on how quickly it dries now and how long the safety car will stay out. If it comes in this lap, it might be a bit too early.
Yeah, it's going to be a big risk. The wet tyres, weren't going to make it the whole distance. They would have to pit at some point, and I think they've taken a big risk, and I'm not sure it's going to work out for them. I hope people like Jarno know what he's doing. He's an esports driver, official esports driver, so he should know what he's doing. But to me, this is still wet. The weather forecast is still technically light rain. Track is 25 degrees, airs 19. It's not looking like it's drying off at all, though.
Yeah, it's still raining. Still have that drops on the cameras as well. To be fair, the surface itself doesn't look too wet. and there's not too much spray. So maybe if you can stay on the racing line, maybe that might be dry enough. But it's definitely risky, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have another lap behind the safety car. That's definitely.
Yeah, here in
And
the
now waiting for him to catch up as well.
yeah, just having a look. Down on Spoon, it's pretty dry, but here on the start-finish straight, it's still fairly wet.
I think you look at Beaker and Ben at the back. Beaker's all over the back of Ben. Okay, yes, it's behind the safety car, but Beaker is getting the run of him, and Jarno's not really catching up to the wet runners. But more people pitting for dry tyres. Has Beaker and Julian taken a risk, and how did it backfire on them? Well, I mean, everyone could have taken a risk here. We're going to find out as this race develops who has benefited from this and who's going to lose. Beaker thinks it's definitely dry tyre time. He's pitting for another pit stop. So that's an interesting call.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if you're in the car, you obviously have a feel for how the conditions really are. Just by looking at it, it doesn't always help. So obviously when commentating, we only have that what we can see, and at the moment I can still see it's raining, and I can... Oh, Lemon, ignoring yellow flags?
Interesting one.
Well, that's interesting. The safety car's out though, so did he overtake someone or anything? It's going to be interesting to hear. Yeah, but obviously we can only go off what we see, and at the moment there's still some raindrops and still a lot of places on the track where there's quite a bit of water being kicked up. So
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be interesting.
Air temperature as well has just dropped to 18 from 19. That signifies that it's not drying up normally anyway. But the difference here is there's only two types of tyres, it's dry and wet. If you think it's sort of going to be changing, there is no inters to go to in changeable conditions. You've got to take a big risk, and we're going to find out if that risk is going to work. Safety car coming in yet? No, it's there. Oh no, there we go. So Jarno is already 10 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, it's not
A little bit, but...
has not caught up yet, so that might be an issue, as the top 5 here that are still on wet tyres are getting ready for the restart. It's going to be Crow leading the way in his McLaren. As you can see how everybody is bunching up here. You can still see it's very wet here as Crow gets a bit of a slide going on. Coming down the straight, and I don't think he was the only one. Hyper's now having a really bad run. That's going to be Fabrizio having a look around the outside into turn 1. And, ooh, that is... who was that? That's Hyper's. He's gone off. He's gone in too deep. I was just saying, yes, Fabrizio won't be able to pull it off, but that was because Hyper's just went off the track there. And he's now dropped into down to P4. He can be very glad that he's not lost more positions. If you go into that gravel trap, that's basically game over.
Rain has stopped though. There's no more rain coming down. It's still damp on track, and you can see Jarno's time to flash is starting to come down, and it's come down quite quickly actually. So it's looking like the dry tyres are the right choice. Okay, there's a bit slippy slidey at the moment, but they are definitely looking like the tyres to be on, and Jarno has made a big risk, and it's looking like it's going to work out well for him.
Yeah, definitely looks to be interesting here. He's caught up quite rapidly now on this lap. The lap before he couldn't really catch up on the safety car conditions, and now he's basically at the back. So let's switch to Jarno. That's him, and he's got Flash, and the other's right in front of him now. So yeah, looks like Jarno might be setting a fastest lap now. And it's going to be interesting to see how fast he can get past Flash there.
Yeah, it's definitely dry time now. I can see the sectors coming in. Mr. Ranker has done a 44-second sector. The front runners, Crow, done a 45.
Just wow.
So he's carved a second.
Yeah.
Jarno's walked past.
Yeah, he's literally just walked past him coming out of Spoon, like it was nothing. So I think that was the right choice right there. We have a yellow in sector 2. I can't see anyone dropping the order at the moment. So
I can't see anyone off track, but...
Oh, that's Beaker. Beaker's lost it in the hairpin. He's in the wall. There he is. Oh, that's very unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Probably a bit of late braking there on a still damp track. That's everybody except Fabrizio, who's still out now coming into the pits. He's already being hunted down by Jarno, who's going to take the lead of this race on this lap. I'm fairly sure of that. So where are those guys coming out? It's P6, 7, 8 and 10. So they've lost quite a bit of time, and they're going to try and move back up. And that's already Fabrizio being passed in the S's. That's usually a spot where you can't overtake whatsoever. And Jarno just did it. That's the difference of the tyres right there.
Yeah. The only concern I have in my mind is, can those dry tyres get to the end of the race? They pitted quite early onto them. And, well, we're about to find out if this is going to work for Jarno. He's done 3 laps so far. He's got to do another 7. It should be okay, but I think that could be in the back of his mind at this point. How are my tyres going to last the race? I don't have the temperature data for him, unfortunately, to tell me if they will, but we shall keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, teammate Marduk now on the back of Flash, who just came out of the pits, trying to hunt him down. This is for the final points paying position in P10 at the moment. So he'll try to get past there, but obviously Flash was in the top group, so he has decent pace. So might not be very easy for Ben to get past there. Fabrizio Di Noso slowly crawling back into the pits. That's painful to watch, to be fair. So he's gonna lose quite some time. As ooh, that yeah, that's Hypers. That was very far out. And ooh, that looks like he was a bit late on the brakes, trying to get past Muller there. But yeah, didn't manage to get through 130R, and that was that. Fabrizio, as we said, now into the pits. Just going to have one eye on where it actually manages to rejoin. And it looks like, yeah, he's going to drop out of the top 10. That's P12 for someone who was in a position to fight for the lead.
Still a long way to go. They were only on lap 7 of 13.
Oh, and Ben has spun Flash around there at the exit of turn 2. I saw that they were fighting into the first 2 corners, and then Ben was right behind him and just gave him a little touch, and that sent Flash around there. So yeah, he got Flash out of the way, but maybe not in the nicest of ways, to be fair. So that's going to be a bit of controversy, as he's now in P9, followed directly by Hooper in P10.
Yeah, and Hooper's on the back of him, but I mean, Flash had the inside line through the opening corners and had the position. Dimmadada took it back, going through 130R, and well, now Flash is back in 12th with the damaged front wing, and probably going to be trying to find his way back to the pits now to replace that.
Yeah.
I don't know how these cars handle with a damaged front wing, but it's not looking like it's handling very well.
Nope, as we have Mr. Anchor right behind I'm Wave, fighting for P2 effectively. Jan already with a 10-second lead over everyone behind, so that strategy call from him really helped him out, because everybody who was fighting him for the lead they have taken themselves out, as Mr. Anchor now going side by side with I'm Wave. He's on the inside, so that's the line you want to be on. You see I'm Wave careful there. He didn't want to make the same mistake Hypers did, and that loses him now the position to Mr. Anchor, who's up to P2. So good work there from the Finn.
Yeah, Hypers and Muller behind picked up a 3-second penalty apiece going through 130R, and that could really hurt them come the end of the race, because they still need to catch up to Jarno if they want to take the win here. 3-second penalty is not going to make that an easy task. But they are battling through the S's at the moment, getting close together as Ben is on the rear of Iceman behind them. And it's looking like this could turn out to be a great race. We've had a few thrills and spills as, well, Hyper's managed to get through at Dunlop and is up to P6.
Yeah, Ben definitely moving up here quite a bit. He's already up 6 positions from his start, and Iceman is up by 5. So these two guys actually one of the benefactors of the chaos and the strategy and yeah, the conditions overall, as Ben gets a great exit out of the hairpin. Nearly running Iceman over there on the exit, as he just gets enough speed out of there. Is he? Oh, that's going to be risky. No, thinks better of that. No reason to go for that Vettel Verstappen incident into Spoon. Was that a bit of a touch from Teammate Marduk there, or did Iceman lose it on the curb? He did have a bit of a wiggle, as I know both come up to 130R. Ben is going to the outside. We've got a nice shot from behind here. Iceman going a bit wide. Ben trying to do the over and under. They're going side by side into the hairpin. But it's Iceman at the moment who's the inside, but Ben manages to hang it around the outside. That switches to the inside for the next left-hander. That's him through. He did get an ideal exit, but so did Iceman. And now Iceman has to... Whoa! What? That's weird. Did you also get a bug there with Fabrizio?
I think there's a bit of lagging going on as Hooper's currently inside Fabrizio. And they're decent. Oh, Ben's in the wall. That is a full front wing damage for Ben. Same place. Flash lost it the other lap. So is that revenge served by someone else?
That's going to be interesting to see. Whether he lost it on his own, or maybe on his screen he had some desync and touched with someone who wasn't actually there. Because we did have some desync just before, so I don't know what that comes down to. But very unfortunately, he was having a very good race up to this point, and now with only 4 laps left, he's back down out of the points.
So I'm watching the desync between Hooper and Fabrizio. They are, well, quite literally driving over each other at the moment. And it's not going to be easy for Iceman. If Iceman can see both of those desynced with each other, he's going to see 2 cars trying to clamber over each other to get past him.
Ooh, and that's Crow touching with the Lemon, I think it is there, as he goes round the outside of 130R. What an incredible move. Lemon's trying to go up the inside. He did lock up a bit. I was afraid they might touch there into the chicane, but looks like Crow is coming out on top here. What a great move from Crow there, going around the outside.
Big risk, big reward there by the looks of things. He did pick up a 3-second penalty in the chicane, as did Lemon. So he's going to really struggle if he wants to get past Iron Wave for that podium position. Somehow needs to gain 4 seconds in 3 laps and hope Iron Wave picks up a penalty of his own, which I think might be a little bit too much to ask for him today.
Yep, that might be a bit much.
Ben has stayed out, by the way, with no front wing.
He has. Ooh, that's interesting tactic. Maybe he's hoping for a safety car, but if it comes out now, he gets to pit and then they have 1 lap. So he's not hoping for a safety car. He's hoping for a miracle at this point.
Well, he's hoping he can just stay ahead of Julian, I think. Eulis is a lap down on everyone. It says he's a lap down, but I'm not sure if he actually is. I'll have to go with that he is. So yeah, as long as he stays that gap, he's got a 16 second lead over Julian at the moment. If he can hold that through the next few laps, then he'll hold the position. It won't be worth pitting. But Julian's not exactly driving well himself. He's a little bit off track. These cars are not liking this track, that is for sure.
Yeah. To be honest, when I'm in the driver position, I sometimes try and use interesting tactics to maybe outsmart people. And considering the rule set we have, if I'm not in position to get any points in this first race, I would actually try and finish the race. So out of the people that do cross the line, try to be last of those, because that gives me pole in the next race. Just saying. So maybe we'll see some tactic here and there, and some people trying to slow down, or making mistakes, quote unquote. So yeah, but that, I don't know if drivers have actually thought about that, but that could be a thing. Obviously, in the interest of fair racing, it would be nice if they all continue, but just to have it out there, I said it first in case someone does it.
I don't know how they do that, if they're doing that in this league. But Hypers has managed to get past Lemon. He's now up to P5. 3 and a bit seconds off Crow. And Crow is really closing on Wave. 1.1 seconds is the gap there, so is Crow going to nick a podium off Iron Wave? Yellow in sector 1, that's Ben off once again, and he's going to lose a place potentially here to Julian, as Ben is going very slow.
To be fair, Julian is quite a bit off, but yeah, is Ben already doing what I suspected, trying to drop down to P13, which is effective last on the lead lap, which would be interesting tactics right there. But yeah, he's soldiering on, which is very honourable and smart, because I think if you DNF, you start at the bottom for next race.
For everyone as well, don't forget, it's not just top 10 or top 6.
Oh yeah, you're right. We did change the format. Now you say it. So I've been talking a load of nonsense.
Well, Crow is on the back of Iron Wave, and he's going to look for an overtake at any possibility he can find. He's going through the S's now, right on the rear. I'd say on the rear of that McLaren, but that's the same for everyone. They're all on the rear of another
yeah,
McLaren.
they're all racing McLarens and fighting other McLarens, so
yeah,
it doesn't really work.
Where is he going to go for it? Through the Degners, he's not going to go for it there.
Yeah, it looked like he was thinking about going around the outside on that left-hander, as Eulis has now also retired, and yeah, that has Ben in the pits. So is he maybe trying to set a fastest lap there? Yeah, actually Crow now going up the inside versus I'm waving through the hairpin. That was quite easy, and that is Lemon has made a mistake because he's lost 2 spots. I think
he's made a big mistake there.
Yeah, to Muller and Denoson. That was also in the Degners, so very unfortunate for him there. And he's only in P8 now.
Yeah, he's been having a few issues on his track. I don't think he likes the combination here today. He had a lot of spins in qualifying. He's had a few spins here in the race. He's currently in 8th, and for his sake, I think he's going to hope that he can hold this. But Hooper is within 3 seconds of him, and he does have a 3-second penalty. Does Lemon, so he's going to need to pull out all the stops there ahead of Hooper.
Ooh, and that is I'm Wave into the wall there on the start-finish straight. I was just about to say he's trying to hold on and trying to stay in touch with Crow there to be able to fight back for P3, but then he lost it on the final corner. He's now only got half a front wing, and he's already dropped to P5, and he might lose another position to Muller. And maybe to Fabrizio, depending on how much time he now loses with half a front wing on this last lap.
Well, Muller behind has a 6-second penalty, Fabrizio has a 3, and so does Lemon, so even if he loses those places, as long as he stays within touching distance of them, he will gain them back at the checkered flag. Hypers as well needs to pull out 3 seconds on Iron Wave to hold his P4. Crow is set to hold his P3. He has a 3-second, and so does Hyper, so there's no issue, no issues there for them. But Lemon, I think, is going to lose out here to Hooper, and Hooper is really closing up the back of him.
Yeah, that is definitely very unfortunate, as we have our race leader Jarno, who, due to his good strategy compared to his rivals there fighting for the lead, has had a pretty easy race after the safety car. And he's going to come home in P1 to win the first race of the Classic Christmas Cup 2019. Absolutely fantastic race from Jarno. Definitely well deserved. As Mr. Anchor now sliding around the last corner to finish in P2. And Crow manages to fight back to finish on the podium. Good race from him as well.
Hooper on Lemon. Sorry, Hooper on Lemon going through 130R now. Hooper has made it before they actually get to the corner. He was going to get the position anyway, but Lemon now confirmed not to be finishing ahead. Has he run out of fuel?
I think he might have.
He has. He's going to lose out here to Iceman as well, I suspect. Yep.
Oh dear. That is so unfortunate. Oh, and he's going to... Oh, he dropped out of the top 10 there at the last moment. That's very unfortunate there for Lemon. As we now have Julian and Team at Marduk left to cross the race. Yeah. I can't agree to that comment there, but never mind. Yeah, I think we've had a great race. Although Jarno sealed the lead pretty early due to his good strategy, we did have that changing conditions. We had the different strategies. We had people trying to fight back. We had people, spinning out due to the conditions or a bit of contact here and there. So all in all, it's been a very hectic first Christmas Cup race. And as always, with this format, 13 laps felt like nothing.
Yeah, the changeable conditions made things really quite interesting here. And great race from Jarno. Didn't expect him. I thought he made a mistake pissing that early, but it worked out wonderful for him. And you can see him in the F1 Esports kit, showing his champagne off.
Yeah, definitely a good race. And that was down mostly to strategy, but also due to his great race pace. I was a bit worried for him looking at qualifying times, but he's come through, and I think that shows his experience and his natural pace that he has. So good job. Now on screen, as it has started raining again in the background, are the final results. So Jarno seats that P1, Mr. Anchor 17 seconds behind after penalties in P2, Crow P3, Hypers P4, I'm Wave in P5. Muller managed to hold on to P6. His gap to Donoso was big enough, who also had 3 seconds of penalties. Hooper P8, Iceman P9, Flash P10, Lemon with 8 seconds in P11, Julian P12, Timit Marduk with a very unfortunate race in P13. Started off very well and then had that issue or that spin towards the end, which really ruined his race. So that's him in P13, and then non-finishers Eulis, Beaker, and Richie B.
Yeah, great race all round. And next time we will be in Britain with the Red Bull Racing RB number 6.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
On Sunday.
Yeah, that's in 2 days. That's on Sunday. That's correct. Same place, same time. So Sunday at 8 p.m. UK time, we'll be live with the RB6 at Silverstone. Again, a great combination, I think. A very fun car to drive, very nimble, very light. Not too much straight line speed right at the top end, but nevertheless, I think it should be a great combination around Silverstone.
Yeah, it's the best track of the lot, isn't it? There's no two ways about it.
Are you a bit biased there, maybe?
Yeah, slightly. What gave it away?
Fair enough.
And yeah, join us then for that.
Alright, we don't really have any people in the Discord. I was just thinking about maybe doing some interviews, but since there's no one really there, I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Thanks, Amkasa, for joining me into the commentary box, obviously.
No worries.
Was great fun commentating with you. That was our first time working together here. So great job. It was a lot of fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed the race as much as we two did. I definitely did. Always a cracker here, the classic cup around Suzuka. Don't miss out Sunday's race. As I've said, Red Bull 6, so that's the 2010 Red Bull, around Silverstone at 8 p.m. UK time here on Apex Online Racing. I hope you all have a great weekend up till then, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.
So much.